So past value tracking. There's weekly, monthly, quarterly, one time, first and second week. So these are all done pretty good. Past investor economic contribution money tracking. So that we pretty much finished, remember? Right? So this is pretty much done. Right?
That's pretty much done. I checked it today. I double checked it today. All three sheets. I fixed, for whatever reason, the two that became yellow again. Mark and somebody else. I fixed them back where they should be. After going back and checking the numbers again. So that's pretty much done. Until we get more information for the ones that are black, that's not pretty much done, but done with all available information.
Yeah.
But it's done with the available information.
Yeah. Cool. So all that looks done. So this is all pretty good, pretty done. So then there's only past network and community contribution tracking, reimbursements and travel tracking and other contributions, and then there's the past value squared tracking, right? And then the only other thing that we need to start thinking of is compiling
backpaid IOUs, convertible equity notes. What?
Say what?
So what are we working on now? Let's see. Going to convertible token notes.
So to make sure you guys understand how, I think it's actually be best to do in a spreadsheet.
Getting the call. Okay, I'm gonna take this spreadsheet out for now because I don't need it on my screen. What's this? Let's see, what's enough? I've been checking past value tracking all morning.
Great. Okay, so this is gonna be just like a visual representation of value tracking master ledger blocks, and these are manual blocks. Okay.
Okay.
So the way this works, is that you would have a block for
a manual one. That's okay.
So let's say this is quarter 1 of 2017, right? So this would be the block. And within this block, we might have, time, investors, and this might be time for like the core team time. Maybe you have network time, investors / Econauts.
Okay.
And maybe it's even Mercury Econauts, and then maybe there's some past some travel, right? And if you look at if you look here,
so this is just.
So here you have time, investors, value squared contributions, travel, reimbursements, other, right? So then what you might have here is you might have value squared and other, right? So maybe these four here, right? These four may become blocked. Whoops. So these right here would become blocked like that. Right? So basically you would block this, and then maybe these two are basically not approved, right? So these would be like, orange, or like that they're not part of the block. Okay?
And where are we getting the figures to put in here?
We have them.
Hey, on which sheet? I have them all up on my screen. On which sheet?
Well, there's many sheets. That's the whole point. This represents like a dozen
And
different
that's the
sheets.
problem. We need to make right. And that's the problem. We need to have one place where we put all this stuff.
Well, that's the master ledger. This is the master ledger. Here, I'll link it to you. So this is the actual. And I'll put it on our buddy team notes for right now. So everything goes into the.
Oh, I know, but I have the Exa master ledger.
Yeah, so everything goes into the master ledger. That's just where it all goes. So, for example, the current ledger would be it would be under the master ledger, and you have the proposed quarterly blocks, right? And this is our current one for quarter 1, 2017, right? So we'd have a single block for 2017, and this would be the representation of that. So you'd have the approved parts of the block, and then you would have additional blocks you could add to it in the future below it. And then above it, you technically could make additions above it too. So you could have.
And the purpose of this sheet is just so that we can show somebody exactly what it is without having to show multiple sheets. Is that the idea?
This is just for educational purposes, so you guys understand the concept of what we're doing.
Okay, I understand that. So I'm just thinking that we're making another sheet for, let's have a good reason for making it.
We can make as many sheets as we want, but the point is that this is the core block that we're creating, right? So we want to take everything from, okay, if you look at this, right? If you go into past value tracking, or let's just use this one here, and you look at the current estimated tokens, right? Right, here are all the current estimated tokens, right? So this includes all the stuff in the past, the economic partnership, the convertible bonds, includes everything, right? So we want to take this and simplify it down to just everything in quarter 1 of 2017. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
Yeah, so basically the task itself, when we're creating these blocks.
Oh wow, for a change, you're loading as slow as I do.
So if we're doing value tracking, and then we're creating the master ledger blocks, right? The idea is we want to simplify the addition of blocks to single quarters, right? So each quarter is its own block and technically its own decision, right? So we want to take the existing very complicated and overwhelming list of all value and narrow it down to just quarter 1 of 2017, right? And then for past, right? For past value tracking blocks, right? These are manual blocks. We're going to need to do quarter 4 of 2016, quarter 3 of 2017, right? So each one should have their own representative spreadsheet and their own representative value. Does that make sense?
Right.
And so it's a lot of quarters and it'll be a lot of spreadsheets, but what will happen is that it'll just make, when you're making decisions on it, because the whole idea here is you actually have to make decisions, it's just overwhelming to try to think of all of it.
You only have to look at one sheet.
One quarter at a time. So we're approving one quarter at a time. And if you look at all the quarters, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 quarters.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's a shitload. Yeah.
Well, it's not that many, but it's 8 quarters, so it's 1 year, or 2 years. It's 2 years, and a lot of.
Yeah, but I don't. Realistically, since they're all blocked, really good separately. I mean, I just don't know if it's. I understand your reasoning. I don't know if the additional paperwork is necessary until after we get everything else done that we're working on already, and to make anything. I mean, we can just take the numbers from here, yeah.
Well, but think about it.
Quarter 1
think
isn't
about it
updated
like this.
yet.
Think
Wait,
about it.
let me finish.
Okay.
Updated yet, so we can't even put the numbers in there, really.
Are you done?
But
So
Do we want to put?
are
I
you
mean,
done?
we don't want these to be. We don't want these to be working numbers. We want this to be finalized numbers.
Yeah, exactly. But are you done? Can I go now?
But we can make the sheet, but there's nothing we can do with it yet.
Okay, can I go now?
Go ahead.
So basically, you could see it as, okay, if there's 12 different blocks, right, it makes it much more paperwork to do it, but actually you could also look at the other way around, is it's much simpler. So instead of creating 8 separate blocks, right, and dealing with all of it all at once, let's just ignore everything that's not in the block that we're focusing on, right? So here you have, you can go, the idea is to create one center block, right? So we want to do this one perfectly because it's going to be the centerpiece to the entire, system that we're creating. And then this would be Q3 of 2016, right? So the idea is that we want to get this one done first, then we can start working on this one, and then if we want to, we can go backwards in time and do that one, right? But let's just not...
Q4 of 2016.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about, all of the blocks and all of the time for everything. It just gets overwhelming. Let's at least get this one done and correct and get this one approved. And then we can go backwards one at a time. Let's just do one block at a time,
Shouldn't that be Q4, not Q3?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is basically where we start. So this is the focal point, is the main Q1 of 2017, and currently this is the current block that we're working on. And then this is this is where we currently are as far as the
current.
Yeah.
That's current.
That's current. Yeah. So the important thing to understand is that when we're blocking the actual master ledger, right? It's always past value tracking. Does that make sense?
It has to be complete. So all we can really work on now would be, say, main Q4, because they're not done with main Q1 of 2017.
No.
They're still working on it.
No. Q2 of 2017 is where we currently are, right? So this is May, June, July, right?
Right.
Cool. So this is this is the
January, February.
Yeah. This is January, February, March of 2017.
April, May, June, not May, June, July.
Oh yeah, April, May, June. Yeah.
Right.
So in that context, the way that it works is that this is already in the past, right? So once the actual data is verified and we have the data, the block itself is completed as past value tracking. Does that make sense?
Okay, so we just need to verify all the information at this point.
Well, the verification would happen within the current value tracking. The blocking is not verifying, it's just pulling it all together.
Okay, you don't want these numbers to be verified, they're just the raw numbers we have then.
Well, that's what the block is. The block is a proposal that will then get verified by the board and the members.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
But yeah, because Q1 is still way off. I'm looking at the past quarterly value tracking ledger, and it's still, it's still all red. Now, I have to. That's what I was doing when you were off. I was looking at videos to see where I'm getting the numbers to put in here and how to put them in here. So these numbers on Q1. That's just what I'm looking at, because I don't know exactly where the numbers are coming from.
Can you repeat it?
Understand that Nellie's getting reports from people saying giving them their percentages. Am I correct?
Yeah, but that's all part of current value tracking.
Where the numbers come from. She gets a message or whatever, a response to a Slack message or whatever.
Yeah.
And she puts those numbers into tracking. Or if it's for something past, she adds it to the past value tracking.
Yeah.
still people reporting for quarter number 1, as I see from that sheet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but that's all current. That's all current value tracking. We're focusing on past value tracking.
Okay, so we're talking on what quarter? We're
One of 2017.
Quarter 4 of last.
In quarter 4 of 2016, exactly.
Okay, now I got you where you want to be.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay.
All right, so we all understand that this is going to be the center block, and then from this we can do block changes above it. We can do block add-ons below it, and then we can do the future block, and we can do the past block.
Okay, but meanwhile, we need to be working on this block, right? We need to be working with your hours now.
This is the center block, yes. So this would be the center block.
Right, so Mike, okay, so and we're getting the numbers from the past quarterly value tracking ledger. The past quarterly value tracking ledger. So, Laura said, I assume that means that they didn't do anything. Why are you yellow in the why are you orange in FQN?
What?
At 100%, why aren't you green?
Where? Oh, because it can be double checked.
Okay, you're the person who reported it. I'm double checking it with you. Is it 100%?
I would just double check it with my hours. Cool. So yeah.
I think you put it in number 1. I think we're on the same sheet now. We're on the quarterly value. We're on the past quarterly value tracking. And now, and we need to make quarter 4 green, right?
We want to make well no, but the first one is the center block. The center block is the most important, and then we add in the quarter 4
the center block. When we get back to my, I don't have that sheet you just made, so I got to look at your screen.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll just go ahead and link this to our notes.
You will share this with share it. So I do understand.
So example view of the manual blocks of the master ledger. And the reason why we do it as these manual blocks is if there's no problems, it's totally unnecessary, right? So everybody approves everything and there's no problems, everyone's happy, all good. If there's issues that come in, the block system allows you to add things to the master ledger while other things get separated out, and it just makes it much more flexible and malleable and modularized, and it's just way easier.
Okay. Yeah. So I got that and I like that page and it's great. So now that we did that, what can we do right now? Things that need to get done. You want to work on budget. You want to work on what that need to get done to make Heather happy.
Exactly. So this is the most important thing right here, and I'll make it yellow. So we want to take.
Let me go back on your screen. Hold on. Take these. Just make how we list value. Yeah. Okay. So. Well, they're supposedly doing that. Okay, extra token, extra mess.
So we want to take this. We want to take this spreadsheet right here, and just downsize it to only things that are in the quarter 1 of 2017, so that it's really, really simple.
So
so basically,
do me a favor. Do me a favor then.
Yeah.
Make that easy for me and share that link with me on my main page. It'll just make it a little easier for me to open it.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Instead of having to go look for it.
Yeah.
Since we're working on it, I don't have to go look for it that way. When we work together, you can do that for me.
Yeah.
Share it on my main docket, and I can, I'm making my forms up, and I'll have everything in place in a little while. But for now, we're going to work on it.
Okay, cool. And then this is, James, this says it's on view only. James, it says this buddy team doc is view only.
Oh, okay. I think you made it view only. I think you click that.
James, can you update it to be editable? Are you still here, James? We cannot hear you.
Window. I got too much in that window.
Okay, so anyways.
Jim,
So our buddy team doc needs to be it's view only, so we need to be edit it. We need to add main docs. We need to add other buddy team docs. So these are all things that we want to make sure we get done.
Okay, so you're looking at current token estimation 2, no bonuses, right?
Yeah, no bonuses.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Screen now. That's actually on. Yeah. That's part of the stuff that we were doing the other. Loading. Oh, done. I'll let it load up before I ask my question.
Okay.
We did the current Bitcoin estimation, cash, US dollar estimation the other day. Is this done the same way? How are we doing this? It's taking its time opening on my paper, but I have a lot of open pages right now. What's this? Okay. Close this. I gotta close some docs to make life easier. And close the monthly tracking log. Are you tracking docs? I don't need that open at the moment. Close some docs, things will open easier. Okay.
Cool. So I think we're pretty good on the master ledger manual blocks. So we can get that.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, that should be fine. So then the only other thing here is the reimbursements and travel. We're gonna want to figure out how to deal with that, and this also involves other contributions.
Travel, other token promises. And at some point you have to really handle back pays and IOUs and.
There's not a lot of back pay IOUs. I'm pretty much the only person who tracks their hours and does that. No one else really does that, so that's not going to be complicated at all. But we might want to do the travel spreadsheet some more. We haven't gotten a lot of travel input from people. So, I mean, I think maybe we want to just do like a catch-all form. That could be an idea that we could do. That would be simple. So, for example, for everything else...
Let's go back. Hold on. Let's go back to the token estimation. Just a second. I'm on that page, and I know what... I kind of understand what this page is, because it's basically the same as the Bitcoin page, but in tokens. What I see, green, the economic partnership, but I see a section that doesn't look like it's touched for 2 years. After the current word, 3 months.
Where are you?
What do we need to? Current token estimation 2, no bonuses. All right.
Yeah.
That's where you said you need to get some stuff done.
So what was the question again?
If I know this is what he's going to look out for you, and then I'm working. So you see the page I'm on? So
yeah.
current work, January through March 2017. What do we need to do to make that green? Jay.
Okay, so this would be you would
even if we don't do it now, tell me what we need to do or what I need to do, and I can work on it tonight.
Yeah.
You know.
Great.
Like I did.
So this would be what we call. This would be the time value tracking tabulation, right? So this is pretty simple. You would open up either the quarterly value tracking sheet right here. So we can see this is red, so these are all
right.
incorrect.
I have the quarterly value tracking. Hold on. Quarterly value tracking. Did I lose you?
I'm here.
Quarterly value tracking, which is all red.
Yeah, so this is quarter 1 of 2017. So that's one place. The other place that it would be is the one we just talked about, which was part of current value tracking. We had, we just talked about it. So you come in here.
I'm on the past value, the value, quarterly value tracking ledger, and I'm seeing all these red numbers in 2017.
So you can see this is blank as well, right? So let's just assume that these numbers were correct, which we know they're not.
I don't see what you're looking at. What page
so here's quarter 1 of 2017 in the past quarter value tracking ledger.
Right.
Okay, so let's just assume these numbers are correct, which we know they're not.
Right.
Okay. So what would happen here?
So I would take this.
Is like, let's say George, for example, is 35%, right?
Right.
So then you would come up here to where we just were, which is the token estimation, and you get actual contribution, right? So for example, under George, we would say 35% at 90K per year, right? So that would be, this is all of the jurisdiction and the percentage, and then the estimated token equivalent would be the number. So this would be 35% times 90K.
You're breaking up. I got 35%, and then you start to like squeak.
It
happens to your voice a lot.
It would be 35% times $90,000. Does that make sense? And the only other thing you have to do is you have to do 35% divided by 4, because there's 4 quarters, so it's actually 8.75%. But that's the only other thing.
Question. That sheet. Hold on. Next organization 2. Blah blah blah. You go down.
Did I answer your question? Did we make some progress or what?
We've made some progress. There was a question I wanted to ask. I just unfortunately can't get the sheet to the 2. Yeah.
So do you have any other question, or what's the dealio?
My biggest problem is that most of what you're saying is breaking up. It's turning off into a whine, and I can't hear half of what you're saying.
Well, can you hear me now?
The bigger problem is.
Can you hear me now? Do you want to try getting on the conference call?
Right now I hear you.
You can hear me now?
On my phone, it's your voice.
Well, you can get on the conference call if that works better, but I can try to explain it again, and hopefully it'll come through this time, okay?
I mean, I can go onto the voice and talk to you on the voice. That's not a big deal. We do well on the voice usually. I'll call into the voice just for the hell of it. To my ear while I do
Oh, hey, Tully, how's it going?
Hey, Jacob.
So, Tully's here as well, Steve. So, why don't we take a break and let's take a break and do the FQN experience, and then we'll go from there. Can you hear Steve, Tully?
Hey, Tully, how are you?
Let me go up to my room where it's a better, where the wind isn't blowing.
Okay. So Steve and James, so we have scheduled on this at this time. We have scheduled the FQN experience, right? So at this time, so let's go ahead and do that for a bit while Tully's here, and then we can jump back into our buddy team, and it'll be good, okay?
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and stop this.